to get going. Gotta catch those runners taking off like a Boeing. If the volume spikes, then it's time to trade. Mighty 90 setting up, it's time to get paid. Navigation trading on the mic, time to get focused. We don't need any indicator, hocus pocus. It's all about the price, just watch it move. Manage your risks so you don't lose. First hour of trading is all we need. Focus on the patience and forget about greed.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's day trading live stream, Friday, January 23rd. S&P futures down 12.5 points. NASDAQ is down 66. Russell down 10. Dow down 234. All about the same, somewhere between 0.2 and 0.5% lower. Gold and silver on the move again. Gold's up 0.59%. Silver's up over 3.5%, getting close to $100. Not there yet. Not there yet, Watson. Notes, bonds, and yields all pretty flat. Oil up 3%. Natural gas up another 6.5%. That thing has moved this week. Soybeans, wheat, and corn all a little bit green. Euro and the pound pretty flat. Bitcoin just barely green, still under 90,000. VIX up 2.5%. Back above 16, currently at 16.04. We've got chip stocks are strong pre-market. SMCI up 3, AMD up 3, ARM up 2, NVIDIA up 1.5, PLTR and Hood are up a little bit, Goog's up a little bit. Chips definitely the showing the most strength pre-market. So I'll definitely be keeping a focus on them for any bullish type plays. Really, for the indices overall, you can see S&P and NASDAQ are just below previous day low. So if we kind of sweep that or hold above that, I'll be bullish up to previous day high and beyond. If we kind of hold below that on a, let's say on a 15-minute chart, hold below the previous day low, then I may switch my bias to a little more bearish. It is Friday, so I will be putting on a 6-7 put calendar at the open. Also, we'll be doing a 1 DTE, which will be the actual Monday option, so 3 DTE Iron Condor. Both of those will go on near the open. Got the opening bell here in about 15 seconds. Expected range for SPX looks to be at about, I'm going to mark it at 31.78 for the day. Pretty close to yesterday. Yesterday was 30.78. Today's 31.78. Chips popping, AMD popping. AMD's up 5% just like that. NVIDIA also strong, pushing up to pre-market highs. Meta's popping again after a little bit of upside yesterday. Microsoft strong. want to see how NVIDIA reacts to pre-market highs here. Had a little surge at about 5 a.m. Central. Trailed down into the open. Now it's popping again. Let me get my 1DTE posted. Okay, let me get my 6-7 posted. Okay, got those posted. Amazon's pushing. NVIDIA kind of rejected pre-market highs. What a surge in AMD. Not quite up to all-time highs yet, but pretty close. Amazon's trying to make a move above pre-market highs. I'm going to start loading up some options that I would use. While on the stream, I'm going to trade 7 DTE unless specified otherwise. So Meta, I'm looking at the 660 calls. Tesla rejected previous day high. MU rejected previous day high. Amazon is pausing at pre-market highs. See if AMD reacts off of its pre-market high here for potentially more. Made that quick pop and coming back down. SNDK is coming down. SMH acting pretty weak. Tesla acting weak. S&P and NASDAQ bounced initially, coming back down. Russell's weak. Bitcoin's acting weak. Don't forget we have PMI here in about 9 minutes, and then consumer sentiment at 9 a.m. Central. I'm also going to load up the Amazon calls, 7 DTE. I would trade the 240s. AMD, quick rejection. Tesla's trying to pop back up. Meta's staying strong. right at pre-market highs in Meta. I'm watching Meta. Meta 660 calls. If it starts to show some strength off pre-market high now, it's dipping a little bit. Netflix is strong. Amazon couldn't hold. Meta's not holding. Seeing some weakness come in here. All right, so we're seeing some weakness now. See if we see how we react if we come down to previous day low on both Qs and SPY. Banks acting weak as well. Crypto's acting weak. Chips acting weak. Got a few big tech staying strong. Microsoft is holding above previous day high. I'm going to load up the 460 calls in Microsoft. AMD falling apart after that pop. All right. Meta's starting to pop back up. Looking at the 660 calls in Meta. They're expensive because of earnings, but so you just got to do less contracts. I'm going to take Meta. Filled at 1798. Nice pop back above that pre-market high. Let's see if we can extend through highs of day. Overall market is acting a little weak, so I'm not getting any help from the market right now. It's kind of dipping below. Wanted to see if it was going to continue to rip here into the news reports, but it's kind of dipping. Microsoft is holding above previous day high as well. I was looking at either Meta or Microsoft. I like Microsoft better. Microsoft popped back up to highs. Microsoft was the better choice so far. Goog back up to highs. S&P, NASDAQ trying to bounce. Meta kind of fizzled. MU's trying to climb back up. Amazon's trying to climb back up. S&P and NASDAQ bouncing. Meta, no follow through. MU popping back up above previous day high. AMD trying to bounce a little bit. Nice push in Softy. Anybody take Softy? I had loaded up calls in Meta, Amazon, and Microsoft and ended up going with Meta. Amazon kind of got weak, but now it's acting strong again. Microsoft was the best.
Order partially filled. Order filled.
Netflix popping back up. We've got, let's see. The news is flash manufacturing and flash services PMI. That comes out in a little over a minute. It is labeled as red folder news. Amazon looks like it may want to make a run. Bitcoin had a big volume bar. Yeah, Tesla pulling back a little bit, but yeah, I'm still holding. I position size my swings to go to zero every single time. Not that I will always let them go to zero, but I'll always post when I trade. But yeah, nothing to do here at that point on my Tesla swing calls. All right, so the news came out, had a tiny little bump, but we've also got revised University of Michigan consumer sentiment and inflation expectations here in about 15 minutes. Neither of those are labeled as red folder, but could cause a little bit of a shimmy. Google pushing. Meta popping back up above that pre-market high level. Let's see if Meta can give us some new highs of day. I haven't put in a profit target on Meta yet, just because it's just kind of not moving. S&P, NASDAQ trying to bounce. Bitcoin staying weak. Microsoft had another little dip, but got bought up pretty quick. Amazon still kind of holding near previous day high. It's got a good longer term looking chart for potential continued upside. Put in a profit target at $20 for Meta. It would have to push through highs of day to hit that. Apple going through lows. Microsoft popping back up to highs. Tesla just choppy. Amazon making a move. Netflix staying strong. AMD popped back up above pre-market highs. All right, Meta's starting to move a little bit. Amazon up to highs, Microsoft to highs. S&P and NASDAQ not showing any strength here, dipping a little bit. So good relative strength in those three names that I have been kind of watching here. That next level that I have marked on my Meta chart at around 657, that was the high of a couple Mondays ago. I have it marked off my on the hourly chart. Meta approaching highs. Microsoft extending. Amazon hasn't quite pushed through yet. IWM pushing through lows. Bitcoin still at lows. S&P and NASDAQ not showing any strength. AMD trying to reclaim pre-market highs. I'm going to load up my AMD calls. 7 DTE, I would do the 270s in AMD. Let's have those ready. Hood is
Order
acting
partially
strong.
filled. Order filled.
Coin MSTR circle all week, but Coin's pushing. Or Hood's pushing. All right, Meta trying to break through highs here. See if we can get a little extension and hit a profit target. Because of how expensive they were, I only did a 5 lot, but so I've taken off 3 at my first profit target, which is set at 20. Nice, Tony. Tesla popping. MU back above previous day high. AMD showing some strength. Little bounce at S&P and NASDAQ. Amazon rejecting. Tesla's trying to reclaim above that last Friday's high. That's the level that I have marked on my chart. Right here, the green one. I'd be interested in Tesla if it can get back above previous day high. Meta filled at $20 to hit first profit target. AMD did not quite get up to all-time highs, so part of why I'm watching that one, I'd like to get a ride into all-time highs on that one. I just not ready for an entry here. I would be taking too much risk if I entered here. Amazon trying to stay above previous day high. Microsoft. Softy was the one. Meta's doing good too, but Softy was the one. Softy was the one we wanted to be in. Tesla's still trying to pop. MU's also interesting. It did hit a new all-time high on that first spike, but it's trying to reclaim previous day high. I'm going to load up some MU calls on the 405 strike. AMD pulling back. Tesla looks like it's ready to go again. Just had to take a little flush. Just had to flush a little bit this morning. Goog rejecting, giving it back. S&P, NASDAQ, super choppy. I'm watching MU. Oh, MU's popping. I'm going to do AMD. AMD 270s. AMD 270s. Trying to get filled. Filled at $6 even. So AMD holding above pre-market highs. I'm looking for a move up to all-time highs, which is this green line, a little bit above where it hit on its initial push at the open. Amazon holding. AMD's dipping right now. I'm not going to give it too much room here. I may just cut early. I was looking for that kind of pop like MU got. I'll give it just a minute. See if this little dip gets bought up quickly, but that was kind of a quick little flush. Yeah, it's getting bought up quick. Let's see it, AMD. You know you want that all-time high. You know it. Just go get it. You want it, go get it. Meta pushing. Need AMD to follow MU. I'll put a profit target in Meta at 22. These are 7-day options, so they move kind of slow here. Actually, I'm going to move that down to 2150. All right. Tesla back above previous day high. AMD, I like the way the dip got bought up. I like the strength in MU. Let's see if AMD can follow MU. MU is too fast for me. I like that reclaim above previous day high, but it just took off. Nice move. Amazon trying to pop back up to highs. Microsoft still pushing. Tesla back to previous day high. Just went green. Netflix looks like it may want to break through. Nice little bounce in S&P and NASDAQ through highs. Russell's still acting weak.
Order filled.
I'll put a profit target in AMD at 660. Nice dip buy up in AMD back above that level. Let's see if we can get any kind of continuation here up to all-time high. PLTR popping back up to highs. Tezzy. Here comes Tezzy. Amazon kind of rejecting at highs a day again. That level right there, that 236.5 in Amazon, showing a little problems. Which is, I think, what is that, pre-market high? Yeah, pre-market high, and Amazon kind of holding. Meta's still moving. AMD just kind of sitting there, right at our level. Did not follow its buddy MU yet. Would love to see Tesla pull back to previous day high for us, but not sure it's going to. I do have my swing calls, but I'd like to get in a day trade as well. All right, Meta filled at 2150 to hit second profit target, so I've just got one left. That would have been a great 0-day trade. MU's still pushing. And there goes Amazon popping up. Microsoft still cranking. Softy would have been a beast. Okay, so Tesla's pulling back a little bit. So Tesla, I would trade the 455s. $455 calls. Wow. Just popped right back up too.
Connection lost.
I'm going to take a small position in Tesla. 455 calls. I'm going to take a small position with the potential to add if I can get a better fill or fill the 1195 in Tesla. Kind of dipped a little bit back towards previous day high. Let's see if it can extend. Things are getting strong. See if the markets can continue. S&P and NASDAQ pushing. Bitcoin's starting to bounce. I'll take off my last meta a little bit before previous day high. So I'll put my profit target at, let's see, 2250 maybe. Yeah, 2250 is my profit target for my final exit on Meta if it gets there. Tezzy not extending with some of its big tech buddies here. So all three of the tickers that I was watching initially, Meta, Microsoft, and Amazon, all big winners. AMD still just kind of sitting there. So I'm in AMD and Tesla. And then I got the runner in Meta. Tesla's still dipping a little bit. Tesla dipping below now. Watching Tesla. So I'm not adding at this point. It's just showing too much weakness, especially compared to the market. So what I'm looking at in Tesla is I want to see, I'm either going to cut it or I need it to make a quick little snap back up. So I need to see some buyers pop in on Tesla, otherwise I'm going to cut it. So what I was saying on Tesla, if this dip got bought up really quick, that's when I would add. If it kind of popped up back up and reclaimed above previous day high, but I went in smaller, which is good now. AMD hit first profit target 660. Nice pop in
Order
AMD.
partially filled.
See if we can get
Order
a move up
filled.
to all-time highs now in AMD. Watching Tesla, need a bounce here. If we bounce, I'll add. If not, I'll cut. Meta getting close to its final profit target of 2150 or 2250. All right, I got my finger on the trigger to flatten my Tesla position here. Meta, final profit target 22.50 hit and out. Come on, Tezzy. Join the party. Join the party, Tezzy. Yeah, I just do not like that dip with the market ripping like it did in Tesla. Amazon's still looking good. Meta's still pushing up to that previous day high. AMD staying strong. All-time highs is just above its previous high of day, which is what I'm looking for. Microsoft still pushing. MU still ripping. Tezzy's just being stubborn today. I don't want to go to the party. I don't want to go. Get up there. All right. Getting ready to cut Tesla out at 11:10. All right. So Tezzy, I'm keeping an eye on it. If it wants to join the party, I'm still not opposed to getting back in, but it's just not ready. S&P trying to stay green. NASDAQ right below previous day high. So now I'm just watching AMD for push through highs of day, which would be into all-time highs. Just gotten out of one profit target so far in AMD. If those meta contracts weren't so expensive, I probably would still be holding them, but I could only do 5 of those things. Thank you, Watson. Thank you. Finally did your job today. Yeah, the only thing I can do is take a re-entry. I've already fired 3. So I could add to my AMD if I see opportunity. I could re-enter Tesla. And Meta's Meta's to my final target, so I'm not sure I'll do anything else than that, but it's still strong. So let's see how AMD reacts off of this little. I'm not going to lie, Tony, that run yesterday that was supposed to be punishment, it was pretty nice. It was a crisp 38 degrees. It's a little chilly at first, but after I was done, I was kind of like, that wasn't really a very good punishment. That was really nice. All right, Tesla might be ready. It may have just wanted to flush me out. Where's my Tesla chart? Amazon is still pushing, Meta still pushing, Microsoft still pushing, Netflix still pushing. PLTR is about to break through previous day high. If AMD kind of starts to show some strength again here, I'm gonna add. Meta rejecting a little bit at previous day high now. So AMD, I started with 15 contracts. I took off 8 at my profit target. So I would, if I add, I would add 5 back in, just for a little context as far as size of how I look at that adding. It's always much less size, usually a quarter or a third of kind of my original position. Just playing with a little bit of profits. But I want to see some strength get in here if I'm going to add. Tesla tried to bounce, but it's getting shut back down a little bit. Good exit in Meta. Yeah, Tesla's still coming down. S&P, NASDAQ dipping, Russell flushing. Russell's weak. Let's see, what are the banks doing? Yeah, banks still pretty weak. Hood rejected previous day high. I want to see a pop in AMD here. MU, little pop. Man, MU, that would have been a nice one. I was not quick enough on my trigger on that one. Softy back up to highs. Meta, a little dip getting bought up. Amazon's still pushing. Okay, watching AMD for potential add here. Not yet, not yet. Ooh, Meta, nice bounce back. S&P and NASDAQ, little bounce. Nope, AMD not ready yet. I'm either going to cut or add to AMD. Tesla still coming down. Netflix still pushing. Netflix needs to get up to 92 today if it's going to help our earnings fly. Don't think that's happening. Amazon coming down a bit. S&P back in the red. Softy doesn't care. Meta doesn't care. They're just on a mission. I'll be back in 1 minute. Actually, AMD might be ready. My coffee refill is going to have to wait. MU going for another high, which is all-time highs, I think. Yeah, MU, new all-time highs. Nope, AMD kind of rejecting a little bit again. Don't want to give too much back in my AMD trade. It's already below the price
Order
I got
partially
in on the
filled.
options.
Order filled. Order cancelled.
Russell week. Tesla still coming down. PLTR rejecting previous day high again. Man, MU. MU pushing. I really thought AMD was going to be the one today. I thought it wanted some all-time highs. It's being shy. All right, so AMD is still kind of holding that level. My options are below where I got in. That's the pre-market high. Tesla starting to bounce. All right, be back in a minute. Woo, MU is ripping. Okay, AMD trying to bounce. Yeah, Meta, that was a really good target for my last contract in Meta. It's just kind of chopping ever since it touched previous day high. PLTR trying to bounce back up. Apple trying to bounce after being weak all morning. Goog trying to bounce after being weak. Amazon, Microsoft still pushing. Ooh, Q's popping. Q's pop. IWM finally bouncing. S&P trying to go through highs.
Order filled. Order partially filled. Autofilled.
Anybody take MU? That thing moved really fast off of previous day high. As soon as it reclaimed, I was putting my options, getting them ready, and then pop. I got SNDK back through highs. So I haven't added to AMD yet. I'm just kind of it's just kind of chopping above that pre-market high level. You know, it's not showing a lot of relative strength compared to the indices, and I mean SMH is ripping, AMD is just kind of chopping, so not really interested in adding, even though it is holding the level. It's just not, there's no momentum with it at this point. Apple trying to catch a little fire. Crypto stocks bouncing a little bit. Hood still trailing off after rejecting previous day high. So the AMD options, they're trading below where I got in. It's still holding that pre-market high level, so I'm holding, but I don't want to give all my back. You know, once I hit a first profit target, I do not want the trade to go red. So it's just kind of sitting there doing not a whole lot. So that, in that case, that's good thing I did 7 DTE. Meta, if I did 0 DTE, that would have been amazing. So you just never know. Like I said, I like to do 7 DTE while I'm on the stream just because they move slower. 0 DTEs, you just got to have a lot heavier focus and quickness. It's a little harder for me to do while I'm streaming. But green on the day so far. You know, the Tesla position I mentioned, I took smaller because I was looking to potentially add, but it just fell apart, so I cut a smaller position. So that's always good when you can take a smaller loss. So I'm at Meta is plus 1400, Tesla minus 425, and then my AMD is currently up 270, but my open contracts are down a little bit, so I need AMD to pop. So I'll stay on here a bit longer, see if AMD is going to come back to life. After that little dip and pop-up, I thought AMD might be ready to roll. Made a little bit of an extension. That's where we hit our first profit target, but PLTR just could not push through that previous day high. Still coming down. Hood, same thing, still coming down. Banks getting weak again. JP Morgan through lows. Goldman heading towards lows. Same with Bank of America. Microsoft still strong. Tesla tried to bounce, but it's getting shut back down. All right, guys. AMD is still chopping. I'm just going to put my exits on that one in the trade channel. If I see any potential reclaims in, if Tesla decides to join the party, I want to see it back, looking like it's about to break out above previous day high. If I try anything in Tesla again. AMD I'm still holding, hit one profit target, haven't added yet. Still may add to that one if I see some good price action start to come alive. Meta, I'm not opposed to getting in something again in Meta, but not seeing anything at this point. Otherwise, everybody have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you in Power Hour. Take care.